empire, not truly. We find their remnants virtually everywhere we dig. Some might even be from different empires entirely, we can't be sure. But for such a widespread people, we've never found anything resembling the heart, the centre by which this empire propelled itself ever outward into the world. Such a find would be grand indeed. Grand and sorrowful. I can think of no greater reminder of how mortal our empire is than to gaze upon the dead and crumbled heart of our ancestors. Some part of me is praying that it does not exist.
Created on Christmas.
The RCS eventually came to a stop. Wasn't entirely sure where I was, but hadn't much cared either. Figured I'd spent enough time feeling sorry for myself, though. I hadn't gotten this far by sitting around doing nothing. Time to get up and figure out what I can do.
Chapter 10.
Looks like a hub of some sort. Could probably take the RCS anywhere from here.
Step this way to validate route transfers.
I'm not sure what this slot is for yet. I'm not sure what this slot is for yet. I'm not sure what this slot is for yet.
We're working on providing service to new locations all the time. The way to validate additional route access is to enter an RCS passcode. Fill in the number of dials specified in the documents for each row and press wait to toggle a dial. See? Nothing to it. You can find additional access codes on RCS stamps.
Now I can put these...
I love pie crust puzzles.
Gather more RCS stamps to validate it.
So, can I convince the patrons at this point to abandon their plans? Maybe still save the surfacers, but not lock them all up for study? Probably not. I figure P1 has a similar slant to A1. He's afraid that the surfaces are too random and won't fit into the whole knowledge collection thing, so he wants us to calm down and behave. Not gonna get anywhere trying to convince him otherwise. And their bureaucracy moves too slowly for any other big changes in the time remaining. What else could I do? Don't have any ideas myself. I really need to talk to someone about this. With everything I've seen now, Half has got to listen to me. I can't imagine he'd go along with all this if he knew what was going on. Maybe it's time to tell him who he's really working for.
And hopefully he will listen to us. Or to me.
I told Half everything. The plans in the library, the conditions I'd witnessed in the hold, every little hint I'd seen during my journey. Some of it I'm sure he already knew. The DAA had no small part in the patronage's preparations after all, but even he seemed taken aback by the details. Felt kinda sorry for the kid. He'd been trying so hard to save our friends and families for years. So I didn't say anything when he asked me to wait here for a bit while he looked into a few things. I guess it was a few hours later when he finally came back.
Uncle,
Yeah?
please come with me. There's a lot we need to talk about. It was true. All of it, Uncle.
Yeah.
I must have been blind. I never once questioned it. I want to save our people, not lock them up.
So do I, buddy. But I don't have a clue how to do that. Who are these guys anyway?
Oh, this is my engineering team. We've talked about what would happen if the patronage's plans were completed.
Bore him on the job. That's what'll happen. Patrons like things orderly. We respect that. But nothing like building a hold for some surfacer governor to really keep the mental cogs greased. So yeah, we're well on board with the whole save the surfacers thing.
Well, I'll take any help I can get. But we need a plan. I can't do this alone, Half.
Well, first it's important that we get the word out to the surfacers fast. We need to tell them to steer clear of whatever the patrons have got in store and make their way somewhere safe when the turning happens. I can get you access to the RCS from where we can travel all over the 8th.
Well, even with your engineers helping and access to the RCS, we're never going to be able to tell enough people in time, especially if we have to meet everyone in person and explain the whole mess to them.
Well, why don't we write our message out and distribute it?
Ha! Even then, we'd need a few thousand copies. We'd be writing up until the turning. You know one thing I've been missing? It was never really the Archivist plan to kill off surfacers. That was just A1. He got his head twisted up somewhere and made the Archivists fall in line with him. But he's out on his own now, the lone nutjob. I figure the Archivists might be a more reasonable bunch without him. Putting a few things together, maybe, just maybe, I can get a little help from them. They record things, and we sure have a message to record.
Good thinking, Unca Bethro. But even if you do persuade them to help, we've still got the problem of distribution.
You're right. A tireless army, happy to travel all over the 8th just because we ask it to, isn't something we can cook up from scratch. Unless... Half? I think I may have an idea. But I'd better go find Arky first.
Oh man, we gotta go find Arky. This really is a good job on the storyline here.
A really big sword. It's quite a...
Oh, that's weird. I don't know where I'm going at this point in time. Oh wait. Arky's probably back at...
We have to stop
There
using
we
these
go.
truth vessels now. Truth and knowledge are not the same. Knowledge is something we can archive, whereas truth seems to be impossible to keep still. Every time we send out one of these horrid creatures, they come back brimming with some esoteric perspective that forces us to burn and rewrite our archives on a far too regular basis. There will come a point where this becomes beyond impractical. We can't possibly hope to acquire all knowledge if we're constantly having to change it. We are an empire of knowledge, yes, but we don't also need to be an empire of truth. We simply can't have both. I order you to wall up the old chemical vats and cease the use of that pointless recipe. As for those irksome surfacers constantly mucking up what is, well, I have a few ideas.
So a day has passed.
Give up your sword and you can enter.
Sure, why not? Hi.
Dun dun
What
dun!
do you want?
I need your help with something.
After all, you insulted me too many times.
Hey, I'm really sorry about that. I was callous. I'm changing my ways. I'm sure you're a great guy. How about we just let bygones be bygones?
From your character profile, I somewhat doubt your sincerity.
I'm being straight with you, Arky. How can I prove it?
Seriously? If you really mean it.
I really need your help.
Well, it is true that I am a magnanimous fellow. I know. I always come up with the greatest plans. You can bring me a gift to prove your sincerity.
Sure thing, buddy.
Okay, then go to the forest in the southeast of Glottery. Retrieve for me a certain lost object.
What am I looking for?
A diamond doily.
Diamond doily?
That's what I said, yes.
That might actually be difficult.
So help me, I help you. Take this portable orb with you and you'll be able to retrieve it.
I'll see what I can do.
Oh hey! I was actually on the right path.